Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield. I'm a professional dancer, professional dance choreographer, and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States. And today, episode 2 is out. We got some highlights to watch. I'm very excited. What we're going to be looking at is the actual full frame of the battle between Kristen and Waxy. I'm very excited about this because it looks like they had another match, which is really cool. And normally we have already seen them battle last week. We even saw a rematch that week as well, and so it's really interesting to just kind of see how this is going to be different. And so far I've been hearing from people that some of the battles that happen in this episode have kind of like chilled out the drama tension, if that makes sense. So that makes me very excited. So enough of me talking, let's go ahead and get into the reaction.
You guys ready? Fight! Hey! Yo! Oh.
Ugh.
Oh.
Oh, this is disgusting.
4, 3, 2, 1. Kristen's turn. Let's go.
All right.
Get. Physicality. Yeah. Oh. The groove.
This is a really smart choice for her because here's the deal. She's already battled a lot against multiple battlers. Yeah, that was a good risk for her. Yeah.
Over.
Okay, let's talk about it. That wild. Loved that. That was incredible. I'm gonna be completely honest. That was disgusting from Waxy. That was absolutely incredible. I loved her musicality choices. I think it was phenomenal what she was bringing to the table. Here we go. Running it from the top, 0.75. Both of them are popping off. Love the fact that they went with them doing the same track, so you can do a direct comparison and have them go separately versus at the same time compared to the previous battle. So this is like to settle it all. This setup right here is disgusting. She goes, choo, choo, choo. So she's isolating her hips. So not only is she enhancing her technique through her wax, so she's showing and demonstrating different musicality choices compared to what she's done before, but you're also noticing that she's utilizing her hips a little bit more here because of who her opponent is. And it's really showcasing, like, honestly, this is a really smart move from Waxy because it's showing that she has more variety outside of just her wax and power, which I really love here in the setup. And you notice how she did these little claws here? That was honestly in direct correlation to what we noticed from Kirsten from her previous battle against Waxy with this, just that kind of posture. So she's already inspired by the nuances that Kirsten has to offer and is kind of one-upping them or integrating them into her own technique. This was disgusting. That was just her usage of her chest to thrust those wax up there. That was so good. She goes, let's go. We run the world. Like, that was a beautiful way to pop off. Ooh, girls. Ooh. This was, that technical combination, just the seamlessness going from her overhead straight into that variation was so seamless. This dip, gorgeous. I don't think she could have done it any better. That was, oof. Ooh, and the polyrhythms of the arms with the legs was just so good. Oh my gosh, this is probably one of my favorite exchanges that Waxy has done flat out in any battle I've seen her do outside of this competition. Ooh, beautiful. Just her switches of her legs on the floor was so nice. It kept it entertaining. She didn't stop. She took appropriate texture breaks, but she didn't stop moving. And there's a difference between that. Whenever you have a texture break, that means that you're doing a particular dynamic, or you're doing a texture where you're really strong, really soft, crunchy grooves, more legato, staccato. And what she's doing is she's kind of translating it from the upper body, bringing it down to the lower body, and then back up into something polyrhythmic. And this is just fabulous round from her. Probably one of my favorite, honestly, one of my favorite whacking rounds, period, that I have seen on the show from both seasons. Love this. Well, I love that whole like promenade that she did on the ground with her leg extending out to really help her get around. And it's just the professional, like she is world class, and you really see that here. And I just love that. Love this. Yes, girls, you see that tongue sticking out? She said, welcome. You know, it was just so good. And I love as she goes from shoulder, shoulder, no, do I wish that she, kind of, I mean, cause you know, she over isolated those hips in the beginning. I wish she picked one or the other because she did those hips. I love the fact she set it up at the top and then brought it down, but we've already seen that. So it's a tad bit of a repeating, but I think because she started up here and dropped it down to the hips, totally fine. This was, love the quick work here on the drum. So you notice that she's just making different choices. You know, normally she did all that variations of the overheads when they hit that drum last time. She's using her feet this time. Super smart choice of hers. No, they won't. And she threw it and she's like, where'd it go? Nice. And then that's her end of her round. Now, Kirsten is repeating a lot. Just the walks. She sets it up really well, but also know though, she's really showing her limitations as a freestyler, because remember, she's a dancer and choreographer, and most of her realm stems from the choreography world, not really freestyle. She's used to doing nuances of improv or freestyle in between choreography to set it up or to finish it out, but normally she's not in a battle scene like this often. You don't see her, at least, participate in these types of events as often. So it doesn't mean she doesn't. I'm just saying that when it comes to experience, Waxy has got probably 10 times over battle experience over Kirsten. Now, on the choreography realm, Kirsten she's going to have a significant advantage because of her background. So, but we'll get into that when we get into that. But just notice that a lot of how she's sitting in her posture here, she's really digging into this kind of bevel motion, using her hips to her advantage. You know, her walk's really important, utilizing those hips. A lot of stuff that she's doing is repeating. It's like 2 on each side. And I've talked about this a lot whenever you can tell with dancers who are choreographers more so than freestylers, they're going to repeat on both sides of their grooves because that's what we're naturally used to doing in choreography or when we drill technique. But with Waxy, you notice she very rarely did stuff on both sides unless it was a musicality choice or there was a syncopation involved. So that's something here. She's also riding the top of this sound. She's not hitting the depths as much as Waxy was. Her feet are really nice. She's taking more of a salsa approach, which she did during the rematch between her and Waxy. So I think that's also, it's a little bit of, she's kind of biting herself a little bit, repeating a little bit more. Nice and smooth. She goes slow and then big and then she backs it up, you know. She's sitting a little too much. She's not really digging in as much as she could. Is she having a strong battle? Absolutely. But is it in comparison to what Waxy just brought to the table? It's not. Especially from what we saw. This is what made me go into is she made the choice to go up the stairs. Really smart. You notice she's being playful. She's dipping. If that wasn't there, that would have been nicer and the judge may not have seen this. This was good. She's doing the best she can. She's melting into it, making some smart choices here. But notice it's simple. Like she's simple, really using her assets to her advantage with her hips. She's really used to using grooves of the hips. That's why Afro looks so good on her and dancehall. But you notice just everything she's hitting a lot of stuff on the 4s. She's taking 4 counts to do it. 2 counts, 1 count. You know, she's not going on the 8ths and the 16ths here in comparison to what Waxy was doing, you know, walking down. So when it comes to presence, fabulous. And that can carry a long way. But when you're doing a battle, especially if we've seen both of you 3 times already, it's definitely something you got to bring more than this to the table. So, you know, she's hitting those switches and those walks a lot more familiar like what she was doing before, you know, because that's exactly what she did during her rematch. So I'm going to be honest, I think this is a very easy Waxy win because out of the 2, Waxy brought not only herself, elevated her musicality, not only that, she met Kirsten where she was and integrated more hips. Now, isolate them or she made different texture choices, yes, but there are nuances of what Kirsten brought to the table during her first match that she integrated here in this match that was chef's kiss, brilliant. I loved it. That dip, I don't think it could have been set up any better, and I don't think it could have been executed any better. I think Waxy had probably one of my favorite whacking representative sets of the entire series from both seasons, like I mentioned before. Now, I know there's been a couple of season 1, because you know I'm watching season 1 right now. There's a couple that I still haven't seen. That's going to be really tough to beat for me, for those who whack. That was brilliant. Even more so than what she battles with on the world stage. I think that was an absolute brilliant run from her. So I'm going to have to give this up to Waxy, hands down, 150%. I will be flabbergasted if Kirsten takes this match. But remember, she took the win. I think she took the win from Waxy from round 1. So I think this was a very, very important thing to kind of come back to. I think it's great that they had a rematch with a rematch. So I loved it. Man. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was helpful in some way. I hope I was able to provide some sort of context behind just some choices that maybe the dancers would have made. And I'm loving this show so far. I'm loving the discussions I've been having with you guys, and I look forward to continuing the discussion with this video. So I will check y'all later. Bye.